we've become very close friends because we have something very special in common. It's what I wanted to tell you about.
As much as I love the 6th season of Miraculous Ladybug so far, it's also making me incredibly nervous. Okay, one character in particular is making me more nervous than usual. What is Lila doing lurking in the shadows? What is she writing in those journals? Why can't we see her face? Why is she torturing poor Nooroo? I knew she would make an intense and intimidating villain, but she's not holding her punches. It's only a matter of time before she delivers a devastating blow to the heroes, and I think there's a good chance she could do so with help. We're dealing with a 5-star manipulator here, who uses her skills to convince people to accept akumatizations rather than force the transformations onto them. Lila is someone who could easily find allies if she wanted them, and in today's video, I'll explain who a few of them could be.
Poor Marinette couldn't succeed because she was too busy with her love life, as well as being blinded by her disdain for Chloe. But you know me.
Number 1. Ray. In one of the more recent episodes, Daddy Cop, a transfer student from New York hounds Zoe with video and photographic blackmail, threatening to show her new friends in Paris what she was like at her previous school. Although she doesn't give him the light of day and tells him to leave her alone, it's clear that this new character, Ray, is determined to make Zoe's life at school unbearable. Ray didn't play a video or give specific information, so it's still unknown what type of behavior he was referring to. However, Zoe is a talented actress and admits in earlier seasons that she used to act in specific ways to fit in, even if doing so hurt others. We witness this firsthand when she moves to Paris, when she changes her behavior around her family, becoming cruel so that they will accept her. I'm willing to bet she acted more like Chloe at her former boarding school than she's willing to admit, and that she's not proud of her former self, which is what Ray is holding over her head. The fact that he's keeping this information close to his chest means he wants to do something with it, and he's waiting for the perfect moment to use it to his advantage. Lila is another character who doesn't hesitate to use blackmail against her enemies. While we don't know what she's doing with her collection of journals, it looks like she's following her former classmates and writing down details about their personal lives. We know she attends school with them as Cerise, so it's not far-fetched to assume she might befriend Ray when she realizes he's holding something over Zoe, only to use him for the information he's gathered. Or, if she plays her cards right, he might give it to her willingly.
Leave me alone, Ray.
What's the matter? Are you afraid I'll show your new friends who you really are?
Number 2. Tomoe. Gabriel briefly mentions his long-standing partnership with the Tsurugi family. However, this might be why Tomoe desperately wants Kagami and Adrien to be together, believing they will become the perfect couple. Their union seems to have been planned from the beginning, without either of their children's knowledge, which likely contributed to their unhappy breakup at the start of the 4th season. Tomoe seems to have moved to Paris to unite Kagami and Adrien, but the 5th season reveals her secret agendas, at least to a small degree. As a longtime friend of Gabriel and Emily, maybe it shouldn't have come as a surprise that she knew the identity of Hawkmoth all along. As the CEO of a tech company and the co-creator of the Alliance Rings, she may be the one who developed the glass coffin that preserved Emily for months, keeping her on the cusp of death so Gabriel could have a chance to revive her. Tomoe spends the season working alongside Gabriel, but she cuts and runs when things go awry, allowing her to escape Ladybug's ire. The season left her unscathed so she could come back as the secondary antagonist for season 6, and now that she's become the new owner of the Agreste brand, it's likely she has many plans for Paris and the people who call it home. The trailers for the new seasons even feature her in Omnia shots, only showing her sinister smile. If Lila learns about Tomoe's previous support for Gabriel through his records, she might personally approach her for an alliance. She might have something to gain by having some technological advancement up her sleeve and a secondary base that's not within the city's sewage system.
Designed by Gabriel. Alliance.
Bringing you closer together.
Number 3. Chloe. Chloe and Lila worked closely together last season, which is no surprise. They were classic mean girls and shared the same vendetta against Marinette. When their plan to ruin Marinette's reputation failed, they each found themselves expelled, but Lila somehow managed to turn the situation around, ultimately leading to Chloe becoming Paris's temporary mayor. I still can't wrap my head around this plotline or how it even worked, but for a brief stint, the public allowed Chloe to make decisions from a public office before staging a rebellion. After being thrown out of office, Chloe now lives in London with her mother, but nothing is stopping her from returning to Paris for a visit. Once this happens, Lila could send an Akuma her way and propose an alliance. Chloe always welcomed Akumas and never hesitated to become one of the most willing villains in Paris, especially if doing so helped her get her way. A temporary alliance between these former friends would be easy to arrange and dangerous for everyone in a 20-mile radius.
Don't you want to exterminate Marinette for good, like the vermin that she is, and make her lose everything?
Of course I do.
Number 4. Adrian. Before anyone starts typing in the comments about how Adrian would never help Lila, I agree with you. He would never help Lila of his own free will, which is where the problem lies. I'm suspicious that his amok didn't appear when Ladybug broke the Graham Devonley rings and wear papas. I've seen a few posts circulating online stating Ladybug fixed them before the amok could appear, but I don't believe that's true, as the Akuma appeared immediately. Instead, I fear that Adrian's amok was in a different object all along, and that the family rings were a misdirection placed throughout the previous seasons to string us along. The only other object Gabriel had on his person day and night was the butterfly Miraculous, meaning Lila may have the key to Adrian's free will in her hands. Once she realizes this, he and Cat Noir may become her unwilling puppet. An unnerving theory, isn't it? I hope I'm wrong.
What's the worst grade you've ever gotten?
An A- in math. Listen, Lila, you should forget about this.
Number 5. Chris. Any longtime Miraculous fan knows this one. In the 3rd season, we're introduced to the hero Bunnix because a villain, Time Tagger, uses his ability to move himself in various objects throughout the timeline. Bunnix helps Ladybug and Cat Noir defeat Time Tagger while explaining how the timeline works. Naturally, he's not easily defeated, and they struggle to land a single hit. At the same time, Hawkmoth praises himself for devising the plan, believing that sending an adult villain into the past to attack younger and weaker versions of the heroes is genius. Time Tagger has to tell him that while Hawkmoth sent him into the past, it wasn't him. The revelation is the first time we learn that the butterfly Miraculous will eventually go to someone else, who we later assume must be Lila, as she is the next person to receive it. As for the Time Tagger, he's captured by the heroes and saved. However, when de-transformed, we learn that he's an older version of Chris, Nino's little brother that Marinette babysits from time to time. In the same episode, we see Chris sitting with Lila, who may also act as a babysitter to him when Marinette and Nino are unavailable. Unfortunately, she knows the perfect lies to make him look up to her. If Lila continues to watch Chris, even as Cerise, it's no surprise that he learns to trust her and they build a familiar bond. After getting the butterfly Miraculous, Lila planned to give herself time-traveling powers and travel back in time to discover Ladybug's secret identity. Ladybug and Bunnix thwarted her each time, but it was touch and go for a while. These time-traveling plots can't be coincidences. Since she can't retain her memories when time-traveling herself, Lila should start looking for someone she can trust to discover and recover information for her, only to renounce the information at the end of the day.
Why did I write that? Did something go wrong with my plan? No!
There we have it, 6 people who might find their way into Lila's clutches before the end of the season. The sad part is none will fully realize they're being played until it's too late. Lila is good at what she does, and that's how she somehow managed to fool Miss Boustier's entire class for nearly a year before getting caught. I can't imagine she'll make the same mistake twice and do everything in her power to remain undetectable as her alter ego. When everyone realizes a traitor is among them, her allies may have already found what she came for.
And to prove it to you, Chloe, would you be my deputy?
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications to stay updated on our uploads.
You're only doing what you think is best. I did what I could, Adrian. Good luck.